the legend of Cayman Jack is just around the corner. Mixed with blue agave nectar, real lime juice, and cane sugar for the perfect balance of sweet, salty, and sour every time. Discover legendary taste with Cayman Jack, America's #1 margarita. Premium flavored malt beverage. Please drink responsibly. All registered trademarks used under license by American Vintage Beverage Company, Chicago, Illinois.
This episode of the D-Lew podcast is brought to you by Goli Nutrition. As someone who's used Goli for quite some time, I can tell you that they're not only very good, but they're very beneficial. My favorite are the Super Green Gummies. The Super Green Gummies are uniquely crafted with a spectrum of essential nutrients such as vitamins A, B12, folic acid, and thiamine. It supports a healthy liver function, healthy nervous and immune system, digestive health, a boost to your metabolism, and overall health and well-being. There are no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors from artificial sources. They're vegan-friendly, gluten-free, and gelatin-free. All loyal listeners of the D-Lew podcast get a special 10% discount at checkout. Go to Goli.com, use promo code DLEW. That's Goli.com, use promo code DLEW. This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production. Welcome to another edition of the D-Lew podcast, brought to you by Believe Network. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis, and wow, what a weekend. This past Sunday, I, along with my 4 teammates, Madalena, Joe, Daniel, and Lenore, we took part in the very first annual Pod Mania bowling tournament to get bragging rights for the winning team. And although, we did our best, but the winning team was actually the Watchers podcast. So congrats to Tavon, Corey, Jason, Julian, and Brian for bowling very well, actually. They actually bowled. And Julian, of course, with his trash talk. And he trash talked the whole entire way. And huge shout out to Grindel for hosting the event. And we're hoping to make it even bigger next year. So I'm hopeful for that. But it was really used as a vehicle to get our podcast notice out to the public here. And it took place at a place down here in Delaware called Main Event, which is pretty similar to Dave & Buster's. So we used that place. They were very gracious to us. They gave us like 4 lanes, and it was an incredible time. Although I was representing Believe Network in the podcast, but it was definitely fun had. So again, I want to thank everyone that took part in the tournament, and like I said, we're looking to make it even bigger for next year. But this week, I actually had an opportunity to go to New York City, and Vidya, who is the parent company for Vivo, they invited me to a Music and Mimosas networking event. And for those that know or don't know, I am straight edge, so I did not have mimosas. I did have some orange juice, though. But they had some amazing food, though. Vegetarian quiche and all types of goodies. But I met a lot of people, some movers and shakers in the creative space. And kudos to Vidya for hosting the event, and I'm hoping that they could do more pop-ups, and I'll be able to attend a lot of those and representing Siete music, the D-Lew podcast, and all aspects of everything that I'm doing in the entertainment world. But this week's episode is going to be a little bit different. I have 4 friends of mine that are on their health and wellness journey. Ahyssa, along with her boyfriend Mustafa, Jonathan, and Angie, and they talked about the importance of alkaline water and how it's a lot better than, your tap water and even some of the brands that are out there. So they went really deep. It was a very good conversation we had. And this episode is actually going to be ad-free. We're just going to move right through this episode only because of the fact of I don't want you all to miss anything in regards to some of the things they were explaining. And let's not wait any longer. My interview with the 4 of them starts right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week on this edition of the D-Loop podcast, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about health and wellness, and I have 4 friends of mine that are going to talk about the benefits of alkaline water. And I'm so proud to introduce Ahyssa, Mustafa, Angie, and Jonathan. Welcome all to the show. How you guys doing?
Good. Really good.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. So let's just start off with and I'll start off with Ahyssa and Mustafa as far as where are you two from and where did you all start in regards to life of health and wellness?
Well, with me, I want to say thank you so much for having us on the show. We really gratefully appreciate the platform that you do have. That's amazing, by the way. And I just want to say thank you before I even start anything.
No problem, man. No problem. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up in Baltimore. If anybody know what B-more is, I grew up right up in Cherry Hill in West Baltimore. I love Baltimore, but I started out really young, and I ended up growing up in the slums of West Baltimore. And I didn't really realize the importance of what we eat and things like that. That's highly important. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really realize the stuff that I was taking in. It was not good for my body in a way where when I was about 23 years ago, I was in a diabetic coma.
Oh, no.
And I was in a coma for 36 days. And I never forget this moment. When I got out, my mom said at the time, she was like, we're going to put you on an alkaline setting from Dr. Sebi, because my mother knew who Dr. Sebi was. She knew him on a personal level. So when she talked to him, she literally was like, hey, my son, got diabetes, diabetic coma. So he gave me things to eat. And that's where, for me, I've been vegan for over 23 years, 23 years. And that right there, and I appreciate him. Rest in peace. He saved my life. He literally saved my life in so many different ways, because I can't even explain it. And I fast forward and think about it. I've been vegan for 23 years, and then I end up meeting Ahyssa, oh my God. And the thing is, when I got to introduce about the water, and I'll never forget a moment, she said, try this water. And the first thing I said, man, water is just water. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
23 years vegan, being healthy, you can't tell me nothing. Most people in this world, and I'm going to keep it funky with all the guys, most guys in this world, we got this ego problem. And I had this big ego of saying, hey, I'm vegan. You can't tell me anything. Let's pump the brakes. I was completely wrong, 100%. I remember the second time when she saw me, she said, did you drink it? All right. I decided to have a conversation with myself. And once I had that conversation with myself, and I said, well, let me take this ego aside and let me go ahead and try the water. And once I tried it, it was something different. I called her up. I'm like, what the heck is in this water? What is going on? Why do I feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to be healthy. And she asked her, I say a $1 billion question. She said, what type of water do you drink? I said, I drink the best. I drink Fiji. I drink Centra, Zephyr Hills. I'm drinking Smart Water was my favorite. You see how they get me Smart Water? Smart Water was my favorite.
Right.
When we see something, we can't unsee it. And when she showed me she came from an education standpoint. When she came with that education standpoint, my whole entire life have not been the same, 100%. And I teach people this way, 100%. And Ahyssa, you can finish up the rest. That's real. I got educated.
When he says that, he said it's just water. He said that for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So you act like the ego took a little bit to happen. I'm just so proud of Mustafa and so grateful for him, because once he did see the information and once he did allow himself to get the education, he literally said, the first thing I want to do is let's go on tour and let's share this with my family and my friends. I want everyone that I love to know about this and what we get to show people in person, what you'll get to hear a little bit more on this podcast. But for me, where I'm from, I was born and raised in a small town in France called Chamonix-Mont-Blanc. Some of y'all might have heard about the brand. There's watches, I think, and pens. Anyways, it's a very small town. It's a valley. You look to one side, there's a mountain. The other side, there's a mountain. The other side, there's a mountain. The other side is a mountain. So coming to America was a huge culture shock, but something that was always like what can I say? Like steady in my life was that I've always been very driven by service. I've always loved to help people. I've always wished well on people, even if they've, like hurt me, and I just didn't know where to start. For a long time, I didn't know where to start. I came to America, with that American dream. I went to school, I got my degree, and then I came out of college and I was like, well, this is not the pay that I'm even making as a server. This is like half of it with a degree from college. So I got stuck in the loop, of saying, I'll just do this one more year.
Right.
And eventually one day I just had enough. And I asked God, the universe, for a sign. I said, please show me a different way. I want to help people physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And I also love to travel and be free. And I don't want to have to worry about inventory. And I had all these like conditions, and lo and behold, Enagic came into my life, and that's how the importance of the water that we drink actually came into my awareness. It came from a desire to help other people, and I had no idea how much it was going to change my own life, actually.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, you were talking about earlier, Mustafa, about being in a diabetic coma for 36 days, and it was just really in how you changed your life. You know what I mean? As far as what you're eating and what you're putting in your body and everything is like really, really important. Now with Angie and Jonathan, and again, I thank you guys for joining as well. So talk about your journeys in regards to like what led you to life of health and wellness as well.
Well, first of all, I want to say, thank you for having us, and for not allowing us to speak our piece, and just educate people on this wonderful journey that we've embarked on recently. We started off, with our health and wellness, just because our elders, we see what our elders are going through, and even people that are not at the elderly point. And, like Mustafa, for example, he was young when he went into a diabetic coma. I don't think that's something that, should be happening at that age. So what triggered me really was the presentation that I went to about a year ago. Ahyssa and Mustafa had an event where they showed people, not just me, a group of people, the acidity in the water that we drink every day. And this is water that I give to my kids. This is water that I give to my pet that I love. And I just attach so many health issues to it. And I said, you know what? I watched their journey. We both did. And we said, this is something that we have to take serious. It starts with the water. I've always been a person that wanted to help people ever since I can remember. I give my all before taking for myself. I've always been like that. And I will remain like that no matter what. So educating people on this, water, on this alkaline water, on Kangen water, is more of like a service because people are not aware, So that's how we got started. We like, wow, we got to tell everybody, they're drinking, they're drinking cancer, they're drinking, and not only does this water help your health, help you, but it helps everyone else around you, your family, your friends, everyone. Because Ahyssa and Mustafa even showed us the machine, the K8 machine actually, changes the pH balance where you can clean your house, you can wash clothes, you can brush your teeth. I mean, that beauty water, you got to look at their skin. It's like, so I was like, seeing is believing.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
that's how we got involved, and we just are excited just to see what is going to happen with us. Just starting off, we already are seeing a change. We started with the vitamins.
With the Nucom package.
With a Nucom package. You know, we haven't got the machine yet, but we have drunk the water. And, you know, it's just something that we decided as one to say, let's embark on this journey. And we started with the pills, the Yukon supplements, turmeric, 100% turmeric, the tea, the Kangen tea, and the soap. And to be honest, I used the soap for 1 week, and I haven't used lotion yet.
Wow, and that was
2 to 3 weeks.
Wow, that's incredible, and that's what I wanted to. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I wanted to say her skin is better, and then I also had my hands were really like dry, so I used to have to buy a lot of vitamin E lotion for my hands.
The cream, actually.
The cream.
You have to buy the cream.
The vitamin E cream. So when I started using the soap bar, my hands, bro, amazing. Mm-hmm. The dryness is going away, the cracks, my hands are cleaner, my nails are looking better.
Yeah.
You know, and I wash my hands multiple times a day because of that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just a different feeling when you take a shower with that, man. The turmeric pills are amazing. I take them every morning. It gives me a boost of energy throughout the day. You know, I'm just a different person, man, different feeling. The tea, I drink that. I make it cold. I make cold Kenyan tea, you know, with ice and all of that stuff when I go outside, or I drink it hot.
Yes.
And it's just all in one package, man. It's been changing me. It's been changing us. Yeah, it's really good stuff. I didn't believe it myself. And Angie will tell you, it takes a lot to make me, to have me believe something.
Everything's a scam.
Everything's a scam.
Right.
This right here, man, I went from, you know, pushing death, man, to pushing life. You know what I'm saying? And this is the best decision that we've made, being a part of it. And we want to share that with everybody. We want them to know, we want people to know that this does work. It does help your skin. It does help you feel better. It does help you just live better, breathe better, hear better. Like, everything is just better when you have this in your body, man. It cleanses you. You know what I'm saying? It cleanses all the nasty.
It works as a detox.
Yeah, it's so dope, man.
The supplements work as a detox for people, you know, never drank clean water, you know.
Or drinking alcohol or whatever it is. It's a good way to start to detox your body, to release all that negative stuff in there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And to tell you the truth, I was talking about it today. I don't want nothing else no more. I can't.
Yeah, I got my water right here.
Yeah, I can't shower with another soap. I can't wash my hands with another soap. I don't want to drink another tea, and we got boxes of tea. Boxes that are brand new. We didn't even open since we got the tea bag. So I was like, I don't want nothing else but that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to back up just a little bit, because we want to talk about the origin of the actual company, Kangen Water. So if Ahyssa, if I can bring you back on.
Yeah.
Tell us information about Kangen Water and where they're from and what they're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I had not a question, but I wanted to let you know, and just Angie know, just real quick, that Ahyssa really helped over 130 plus people worldwide. So her heart is like gold, and she's always on a mission to like change the world and educate people 100%. And just to see her to educate the people is the most powerful thing in the world. And I just wanted to say that before you even say anything else.
Thank you. If y'all could see me, I'm blushing right now because I'm really just a small town girl. It sounds cliche, with big dreams, who just wants to make a difference. But you know what I had to realize first is it started with me. Like, for everyone who's listening, the change starts with you. If you want to help other people, first you have to help yourself. First you have to lead yourself, and then you continue the ripple effect. And that's what happened with Kangen Water. Essentially is to go really back to the origin of the water. This is water that mimics the natural properties of places called the blue zones. So they've actually found places in the world where people live to be centenarians. They pass away from literal old age, not bone decay, not cancer, not diabetes, not all the good stuff that we have over here, and women giving birth in their 60s. And they actually asked one of the leaders of those places, which one of them is in Ahyssa Valley in Pakistan. And this is in the book called Healing Waters by Ben Johnson. There's a lot of books on these types of waters. They asked them, what is so special about this area of the world? And they were literally told it's in the water. So they started studying those waters and found that they had really 3 unique properties. And that's what Kangen water has for the drinking water, is these unique properties that are just amazing for your body and amazing for your health. So that's the origin of the water. And I have to give a shout out to the original, really like biggest messenger for it. His name is Mr. Oshiro. He is the CEO and founder of Enagic, which is the company that distributes the machines that make Kangen water. And he is the original messenger, because just like myself, Mustafa, Angie, and you as well, and anyone who's seen a presentation, he was basically dragged to it and invited to a Kangen water presentation in Japan by a medical doctor who was showing the benefits and the healing properties of Kangen water. And when he saw that, you do have to read his book to get where he came from to be at that presentation. But he was at the lowest low of his life. He saw the benefits and he said, I have to find a way to make this water global. I have to find a way to get this to the world for everybody don't have to suffer anymore.
Wow, that's incredible. And when you're talking about as far as alkaline water and you're saying going into the benefits, so go into detail about some of the benefits, whether it's, again, like Angie and Jonathan were talking about with skin or with all the things that are going inside your body. Go into full detail in regards to some of those benefits as well, speaking in regards to Kangen water specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to the drinking water, well, the first part is everything you put in your body can bring you closer to health, or it can bring you closer to the other side, right? So how do we know what's going to be bringing us closer to health? Choosing water is 4 things that you want to look for. Number 1 is this clean or contaminated. And that's usually where we stop. That's why we have, right, Brita filters, fridge filters, bottled water we've been told is clean. So that's usually where we stop. But the underneath the iceberg, you actually want to see if the type of water you're drinking is acidic or alkaline. You want to see if it's oxidizing or antioxidizing, which in more simple terms means, is this aging me faster? And then the last one, am I actually absorbing this on a cellular level when I'm taking it in? And when you look at the properties of Kangen water, it checks all of these boxes. And when you compare it to bottled water, which the Japanese call dead water, bottled water is no longer clean. It's heavily contaminated with microplastics. They have been doing studies finding microplastics in placenta, which means we're giving birth to babies that have plastic in them, y'all. Highly alarming. So what
wait. You said, please back that up and please explain that if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. There's studies that are continuously being conducted on microplastics, and they have now been found in pretty much almost every sample of blood, including placenta. So that means we're giving birth to babies that already have plastic in them. Microplastics. Wow. And for me, my personal beef with microplastics, and please, on everything that I say, no, I'm not a scientist. I am not a doctor. I've just been researching, this water and all the documents for almost 4 years now. But to my understanding and my knowledge, there is no way to detox microplastics. They go into your organs, and it's been said that the average American consumes like a credit card's worth of plastic. I think it's a week or a month, but either way, it's alarming. Imagine we're going to the restaurant and I have my credit card with me and I get some scissors and I chop it up and I go to eat it. You'd be like, Ahyssa, you're insane. Why would you eat so much plastic? But yet we do it to ourselves in very small doses. And in the studies, they found, and everyone can look this up, that the primarily source of microplastic in the body is from the type of plastic that makes our drink bottles. soda bottles, water bottles. That's the primary source of plastic in the body.
Wow. Wow.
And then
Unbelievable.
I know it's a lot. And the second part to it is not only is it's contaminated with microplastics, but over 80% of bottled water is just plain tap water. And if it's not plain tap water, it's water that is pulled from from natural sources, indigenous places. Like we are in Florida right now. We have some of the most beautiful springs I've ever gotten to experience. And one of the most popular brands of water here pulls from a place called Genie Springs at I can't even remember the number, it's so big, but I can tell you in a couple years, if it keeps going that way, we're not going to have those springs. So Derrick, I don't know if you've ever been to Florida.
I have just a couple times. I have.
Have you been to the springs yet?
No, the only parts of Florida that I've actually been to has just been Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Orlando, and Miami.
Okay, nice. So we do have the springs nearby all of those cities. Imagine coming to visit us and we take you to the springs and a couple years and we're like, oh, this is where the springs used to be, but we can't swim or do anything in them anymore because they're all in bottled water and they're all dried up because there's no more water.
That's terrible. So, and again, I thank you all for joining us today. So, how can we know if our bodies are too acidic, and is it possible to become too alkaline by drinking excess alkaline water?
That's a really good question. There's actually, to my knowledge, no research really like backing benefits or detriments of electrolyzed reduced water, which is what Kangen water is. If you found, I know for me, when I went online and I searched alkaline water, I saw a lot of like horror stories and some videos on YouTube. They're typically talking about alkaline water that's been made alkaline with baking soda. So what big soda companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi have found is that with the rise of ionizers through Enagic, because it is the number one lead, company for that has medical certifications, everything that you want on it. They found that they were losing the edge because people were buying soda like crazy, and then they were buying bottled water, and then they start seeing the numbers going down. So they said, how can we keep people buying plastic? So now you have brands like Essentia, which is really Coca-Cola putting baking soda in chemoed water. Of course, there's no benefits to it. Then to answer your question a little bit more specifically, and again, I'm not a doctor and a scientist, but what's alkaline that we put in our bodies? Some fruits, some vegetables, some seeds and nuts, not even all of them. What's acidic? Everything else is acidic. So I haven't met anybody that drank too much Kangen water to the point that it made them too alkaline, because I think everything else that we put in our body is just so acidic that I don't think that would happen.
And the thing is, when I had diabetes, Dr. Sebi put me on an alkaline setting. So everything that I ate was all alkaline, fruits and vegetables, all alkaline. And think about it. And we can say it. What live in an alkaline setting? Nothing. The doctor, if you go to the doctor, a doctor be like, hey, they'll give you everything that's acidic. We all know acidic is bad for us.
Yeah. I think to the point that I want to drive home for everyone is, don't focus on the pH so much, focus on the bioavailability of the water and on the potential to reduce oxidation. Like that beats everything else.
Got it. Now, I saw the machines online. I went on to Kangen's website and I had an opportunity to really look through it thoroughly. And whenever I do research, I want to make sure that I'm looking at every single product. And I was extremely impressed. So talk about like, how do you go about which machine you choose and how you ultimately hook it up to your water system?
Okay, absolutely. So The most popular machine is called the K. It is like the smartphone of water. It's
Mhm.
literally so smart. That's the one that most people will go with.
Mhm.
But for people who are like going to choose their machine, you can find a lot of information on the website, like you mentioned. I would say
Mhm.
it's on an individual basis. The difference in the machines is really gonna vary on the power of the water, like how potent do you really want it to be, and how easy to use do you want it to be. So it's more of a question for like the person, listening and considering changing their water. Like, how do you want to feel every time you go and pour yourself a glass of water? That's going to be the biggest difference.
Right, right. Now, how long does the Kangen water stay ionized?
Again, that's going to vary on the machine.
Mhm.
That's like the potency of it. But in general, with the Kate, which is the one that we have, if it's
Mhm.
stored in glass, you can still have a negative ORP, which means your water is still anti-aging, as long as 7 days if it's in glass. But
Okay.
if it's in plastic, it'll be like 48 hours. And also, too, this is living water.
Mhm.
So the more you shake the bag, the more you shake your bottle, the more it's exposed to light and to movement, the faster the negative reading is going to go away. The alkalinity and the cleanliness of the water, that will stay potent for, like, I think I've tested it after a month and it was still alkaline. But again, you want to focus on that living, that life energy that's in it.
I was watching a video that you had sent me a couple weeks ago, and I was looking at it. I know they were saying something about Evian, which is backwards for naive, which I thought was a little tongue in cheek. It was a little funny, but there's some brands out there, and again, I don't want to get sued, but there are some brands of water. No, I'm serious. There are some brands of
I
water
know.
that taste like pure trash. Like, there's some that I don't even want to look at whenever I go to a convenience store or whatever the case. I'm just trying to get a cup of coffee or something like that. But in your estimation, in regards to taste, what are some of the differences that you notice taste wise between alkaline and I guess some of the other brands that are out there?
I think the water tastes like life. Like, sometimes I can literally feel the buzz of like electricity on my lips when I pour it fresh. And that's why it's so important to drink the water fresh. And you'll never really see Kangen water in huge stores like that, bottled up,
Mhm.
unless somebody is trying to bamboozle somebody else.
Yeah.
Because if you really know it's the life that's in it. But I think it tastes amazing. And that's coming from someone whose hometown, I used to get water straight from the mountains. Evian is an hour from my hometown. So I was heartbroken when I realized the naive part. But I know Mustafa used to really love the water he was drinking before too.
Yeah. Yeah. The difference is the taste wise. When I tasted it, it tastes clean. And I never forget this moment. I put Fiji, Smart, and Kangen water and I did like a taste test. And when I tasted it, I was like, wow, this tastes really clean. It's smooth. It's different.
Right.
So versus anything else. But the thing is, for me, what really was a wow moment, and I have to sit with this. Like I said, when you see something, you can't unsee it.
Right.
When I saw when Ahyssa did the test for me, and I'm like, that can't be. What do you mean that's acidic? What are you talking about? I can't. When she tested the Kangen, it was that vibranium purple. it was that purple, and it was just mind blowing for me. And the thing is, when we're taught something for a long period of time, we have to think about what we have been taught, and we have to sit with it and start changing for the better.
It almost reminds me of the I forget which fast food place it was, but they were like tasting the different burgers, whatever the case. I don't know if it was the Beyond Burger
that was it.
That Burger King had put out, and which, by the way, as a plant food eater, like, I think the Beyond their Impossible Burger, it really defeats the purpose of eating healthy, because you have a healthy burger on there, but then it's all the other stuff that's on there that really defeats the purpose. That's another story for another day. Point is that
don't get us started.
But again, I'm not in the business to get sued. But anyways, I was gonna say is that when they were actually had the blindfold test, you know what I mean, as far as eating it, is like they didn't really notice a difference. But then obviously they said that the Impossible Burst, it tastes better, and then now you're saying you literally went through the same thing, whether you had the different brands of water, and then of course the Canyon water. It said it blew your way. That's incredible, truly incredible. Now, I wanted to ask in regards to the automatic draining system. How does that work?
What do you mean?
In regards to, so when you have the machine, hooked up to your system, in other words, how does it drain? Does it drain out, or how does that all work?
Okay, gotcha. The machine hooks up straight to your faucet, and everything that goes in does come out. So you end up with two different outputs for the water. So you can collect it or you can let it drain down the sink. It's up to you. There's a lot of different uses for the water that you can collect, and the plants will literally love it.
Yeah.
I think our neighbor has over 400 plants. That's what we were doing before the podcast. And he came over and he's like, that water that you gave me, it brought my plants back to life. And he was so happy because imagine somebody with 400 plants cares about them like it's his babies.
Yeah.
And all we do is the exert from the drinking water is that nice, slightly acidic water for the plants.
Now, and I can bring Angie and Jonathan on as well for this one, is for in regards to your opinion, and we'll wrap things up in just a little bit. But how do you think that our environment really affects our wellness these days? Because you hear so many stories about, and this and that, all these other things. So what do you think, how do you think our environment affects our overall wellness, and what can be done about it to better it in addition to Canyon water?
Okay, I'll go first. I would say, just people being miseducated. Just the awareness. There's no awareness. People take the quick way out. Everybody's always in a rush. Like, I'm from New York City. We need things done fast, right away. And that's part of our environment, part of how we grew up, how we were trained to be, and just careless. Our environment nowadays is just careless. People just want to get up and go really quickly, don't really care, and be things for the next day, and not taking into consideration that, that quick fix is a lifetime of hurt, So that's how I feel I would apply that.
Yeah, also, man, it's just like you sit here and you see what they're doing. They see what they're doing. They don't care to listen anymore. And I think that is affecting the way we start to look at people, man, because people don't want to take advice from no one else. People think that when you talk about something that's positive and that's good for your health, it's a scam.
Or it's boring.
But they never really take the time out to really educate themselves and pay attention to what your body intakes. You know what I'm saying? What your body takes in.
And that's how Canyon water works.
And that's how Canyon water works. One of my biggest, I told you, it takes a lot to convince me, but one of the biggest, situations or the person that really, convinced me was Mustafa. His energy, who he is, what he was talking to me about. He took his time out to call me multiple times to make sure I got it in my head. Like, bro, I'm telling you.
Learn about it.
So I think that's the only way we can fix our community and help each one teach one. That's the only way we're going to make change. Is when you have that type of energy or that energetic person around you to give you and to not stop, to help you want to see you healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I just tell to people, man, I hope that they take the time out to educate themselves, see how it could change your life, how it could change the way you feel, your family, the way you live, and not be so ignorant, and very, just take heed, man. And that's the only way we're going to change, man. We got to teach everybody. You got to teach one.
Indeed.
That's facts. Yeah. And I would definitely want to say, and this ionizer machine really is a lifesaver in so many different ways. the water. You have, and I remember when me and Ahyssa met, I had bleach, Fabuloso, Clorox, bleach. I had all of these cleaning products that is cancer causing, and I didn't know. And when she educated me about it, I'm like, hold up. So the machine it's a hand sanitizer too? She was like, yes. And it's a mouthwash too? Yes. And I could do laundry? Yes. Oh my God, you had no idea. It was a no-brainer for me. And like I said before, we're used to something so many times. My mama, my grandmama used Clorox. Everybody else in my family.
Everybody did, right?
Fabuloso. We was trained that way. Now, when Ahyssa educated me, I got rid of all of these things. And think about this. I just didn't get rid of all of that. It saved me money because I own my water supply. I own my cleaning products. I own my own sanitizer. I'm not going to the store to go buy it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
And the peace of mind.
And the peace. Oh my God.
Mustafa, I'm sorry to cut you off. You have to say that again. You have to tell these guys again. I own. Tell them, bro. Repeat that. I own my water supply, man.
Oh yeah, I own it.
How awesome is that for someone to own their own water supply that's alkaline, that's beneficial, that you don't have to go and put, that dollar in someone else's pocket. It's I own is the big, that's the biggest word I've heard.
And the best thing about it is that I can take my machine, go to Costa Rica, go anywhere around the world, hook it up to a faucet, and it's there. I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have to worry about going to the store. It's there. You can take it on vacation, anything like that. And that's the best thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To bring it back full circle, your question was how did we get here, right? Like health wise, and what can we do moving forward? I think that as a species, we've lost our sense of responsibility for our lives, and we keep looking outside of ourselves for somebody else, some other place to fix it. And really, we should all question everything. Right? What I'm saying, question it. Do your own research. What we're all saying, question it. Do your own research, right? Do proper research. Don't just go on Google. Go on Google Scholar, on PubMed. Look at actual studies, not paid advertisement, and question everything and take responsibility for yourself. Because if you're listening to this, then you're going to hear this. How are we supposed to know that we're poisoned and programmed if we're poisoned and programmed? Just assume we're in the matrix and do what you can to get out. And that starts with you taking responsibility for what you put in your body, what you put on your body. Your skin is your largest organ, right? Don't just stop at what you're putting in, right? Look at food, of course, and drinks, but also look at skincare. Look at, if you're diffusing candles, look at things that are going like lotions, that are going sunscreen, that are going on your body. And then look at what's going into your home. And coming from France, I assumed that everything that we buy in the store is okay to buy because it means it's healthy and safe. And I feel like, sometimes when we're on TV and different things and podcasts, we're not supposed to say these things because, like you said, we're talking against some of the biggest giants, right, in the world. But let me just say this, just because it's sold in a store doesn't mean it's safe, and it doesn't mean it's healthy for you. Look at the ingredients, even on water.
Indeed. Now, where can people find Kangen water? Where can they find it in regards to seeing what it's about, where they could potentially purchase or anything of the sort? Where can they find it at?
So the company is called Enagic. And like I mentioned before, Mr. Oshiro's dream is to get it global. So the only way you'll be able basically to purchase a system is to be referred by someone. So if you want to find more information, it's Enagic, like energy and magic.com. But if you actually want more specific information, or you're ready to take the next step or have any questions, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Vibe with Ahyssa. Derrick, please make sure that's in the notes because sometimes people misspell it.
I'll definitely do that.
King Mustafa H2O. And we have a nonprofit that's a lot easier to find. It's called We Say No to Toxic. Yep. So if you go to saynototoxic.com, you'll find a lot of information on the nonprofit as well, which is focused on education. And of course, please don't forget to reach out to Angie and Jonathan as well too.
Definitely, and I'll leave Angie and Jonathan's information in there as well. Actually, yeah, and then they're still here. Where can they find you? Where they can find the both of you on social media as well, Angie and Jonathan?
Yeah, you can find us. I just updated it to Jonathan_Angie37. That's our water page. You can also find us on our other pages at b.x_sparks. And also Angie Stars with 2 R's. You see?
Double RZ, don't forget.
Yep.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank all 4 of you for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedules to come on to the D-Lu podcast. And again, this is a different episode. Usually I'm talking about sports, I'm talking about entertainment, but I definitely wanted to take a deeper dive and talking about a different topic in regards to the health and wellness aspect of it, where I'm going to be talking about mental health in a few episodes down the line, but with another guest. But again, I want to thank all 4 of you for coming on, and best wishes, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say, if you can make sure to have that in for anyone that reaches out to us from this podcast, we'll make sure to do a little special for you. So give you like a little discount, little congratulations for investing in yourself. So make sure that you mention that you found us through this podcast. Thank you, Derrick, for having us. This is not so far from entertainment and sports because all of the biggest celebrities and athletes in the world already drink this water. They're just not in the share about it. So,
yes.
Well, thank you all so much. I definitely appreciate it.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of the D-Lu podcast. Again, I want to thank Ahyssa, Mustafa, Jonathan, and Angie for stopping by to tell us all about the importance of alkaline water. And you can check out some of the their links from Instagram in the description of whichever platform that you're on. So I'll definitely leave that for you guys to check them out and see what they're talking about. But in regards to me, again, follow me on social media. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at @TheRealDTLew. Facebook is Derrick T. Lewis official page. If you haven't hit the subscribe button on this podcast, I definitely encourage you to do so. You can get content when it's available. You know what I mean? So if it's an extra episode for wrestling, you'll be able to get it. All my new episodes on Thursday mornings, you'll be able to get that too. And don't make sure that you go to my online shop, shop.derricklewis.com. Make sure you do that. Well, I'm going to get out of here. And oh yeah, by the way, for all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. And I hope you all enjoy it with your families and especially with your kids for sure. Well, again, now I'm going to get out of here. But just remember, no matter what you do in life, always remember to make it count. See you next time.
The legend of Cayman Jack is just around the corner. With blue agave nectar, real lime juice, and cane sugar. Discover legendary taste with America's #1 margarita. Premium flavored malt beverage. Please drink responsibly. All registered trademarks used under license by American Vintage Beverage Company, Chicago, Illinois.